Hello, hello, hello. Kenneth Hollins here with HollinsMusic.com and MyKeyboardConnection.com. I am super, super excited about what we're getting ready to do. I am getting ready actually to do another series of teaching, online live teaching. This is going to be a 4 week series of teaching that I'm going to be doing. I've done this before, and I've had several people that have signed up in the past, and people are signing up now for the teaching series that I'm getting ready to do now. It actually begins on tomorrow. You may have seen a video about that, or possibly maybe have received an email if you're on our email listing. But that begins on tomorrow evening at 6:30 Central Standard Time. I'm going to be doing a series of teaching where it's going to go on for 4 weeks, and each session that I'm going to do is going to be live, of course, and they're going to be a minimum of 1 hour long. So it's going to be 1 hour long sessions, and we're going to do 4 weeks of that, and that begins on tomorrow evening, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so I want to invite you to be a part of that. I really do believe that it's going to be very beneficial for those that will sign up, and for many of you all, it may be just what you've been looking for. And so what I want to do right now is just create an opportunity in a space where if you have questions that you can ask questions, and I'll definitely do my best to answer whatever questions that you may have concerning the teaching and the sessions that we're going to have. Now, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. Now, during the sessions, we're going to cover so much. Now, this is going to be for gospel piano. So if you play piano, or if you play keyboard, it's going to be geared towards you. And we're going to cover the things that you would need as a gospel musician that plays for a church or that plays for a ministry. Okay. So if you currently play for your church, or you currently play for a particular ministry, then this would be a really good opportunity for you to learn some more things. Okay, I have one question. Will I be able to use this on organ? Uh, well, the way I look at it is anything that you learn on the piano, you can pretty much play on the organ, and really vice versa. Of course, there are some adjustments and things that you need to make. The way you use your left hand, how you incorporate your foot pedal if you're not using a bass player. Maybe some slight changes or variations to your voicings, your chord voicings. But for the most part, what you learn on piano will apply over on organ. So to answer your question, yes. If you are an organist and you still want to be a part of this, and you want to know if this will help you, if this will benefit you, I would definitely say yes, it would. Now, I'm just going to be demonstrating everything on piano, but it will apply. And I will go as far as saying this: if you are signed up and you are primarily an organist, you play the organ. If you have questions, at any point during the sessions, you may say, well, Kenneth, how do I apply that movement or that progression to the organ? And I'll definitely be more than happy to give you some suggestions or advice how you can make that transition over from piano to organ. Okay, that was a great question. And so we're going to be covering things that will apply to those musicians that play for a church. I really feel like this is something that I have been given to do to help musicians that were in the same boat that I was in, where I was kind of just thrown out there. I grew up in a small church. And so, of course, we didn't have a lot of finances to pay musicians and things like that. I was just a member of the church. As a matter of fact, my father was the pastor of the church, and so I was always there because he was in leadership. And so we got to a place where the individual that was playing for us, she was a lady, and she got pregnant and had to go away on maternity leave. So for several weeks, really months, We didn't have anyone that could play the organ. And at that time, we didn't have a piano player. We only had an organist. So it was an organ and a drummer. That was the band. Okay. And so I was in a position where um, I wanted to play, but I just didn't know what to do. And so our church was small, so they allowed me to get on the organ and really not really knowing how to play very well. I knew just some little simple things that my sister taught me at home, and I would just try to play there. But I really didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. But they were patient enough. They were patient enough with me to allow me to do that, and I'm grateful that I had a situation like that because I know everyone does not. But what I want to share now is the thing that really took me to the next level was the fact that I was able to find a teacher and someone that was willing to work with me, someone that recognized that I had potential, that I had musical ability, but I needed someone to help steer me in the right direction. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to share with you who it was. It was a lady by the name of Barbara Jackson. I have to always give her her props, and I have to honor her for the contribution that she made to me musically. She was the one that placed me on the right track in terms of me growing, me developing. I already had a musical gift. I already had potential, but I needed somebody to help put the pieces of the puzzle together. Someone to help me to understand things that I didn't. Someone to help steer me in the right direction. And she was that person for me. She's the sister of Derek Jackson, phenomenal musician in Memphis, Tennessee. He plays in the convocation of the Church of God in Christ convocations, and if you know anything about gospel music or gospel organ, 9 times out of 10 you've heard Derek Jackson play. I've actually studied with him too, but his sister Barbara Jackson, she's the one that helped steer me in the right direction. I'm eternally grateful for that, and because of that, I do what I do now. You know, this was umpteenth years ago, probably almost 30 years ago when she was working with me. And so I understand what it's like to know you have potential, to know you have ability, to know that where you are currently is not where you can be, and you know that. And sometimes that's a frustrating thing where you know, man, it's in me to play so much better. It's in me to do what I'm doing on a much higher level, but I don't really know how to get out of the rut. I don't know how to get past this little point where I am right now. And guess what? I know what that feels like. And so I'm very passionate about helping people to get, past that little bump, that little space where what do I do next? I don't know what to do, you know, and I feel like I've been blessed to have some teaching techniques and different things that I can share. I believe I have another question. As a beginner, would it be easier to begin with organ and then apply it to the piano or vice versa? Well, I believe as a beginner, I would say in I would say it would probably be easier to start on piano. Okay. And the only reason I say that is because when it comes to the organ, you have a lot of different things that you really need to know how to do pretty well. Okay. Number one, you need to know how to play the song. Okay. But you also need to know how to incorporate drawbar settings. Okay. How do I set the organ up to get the proper or the appropriate sound? You have different settings like vibrato and vibrato chorus and percussion. And then, of course, you have foot pedals, and then you have your Leslie switch. So if you're a beginner, all of those things could seem a little overwhelming to you, as opposed to starting with the piano, which then primarily you would just be focusing on learning the song itself. Okay. So to answer your question, I would say if you are a beginner, I think it would be easier to start with piano. And then once you get a pretty good foundation on the piano, if you really desire to, then go ahead and transition to the organ. And I don't want to sound as if I'm saying the organ is more difficult than the piano. It's different than the piano. And I believe there are more things that you have to really kind of understand how to operate. But I believe it would be easier to start off with piano. And I hope that answers your question. Okay. So what I'm offering to do is what Barbara did for me. She helped steer me in the right direction. And you may say, well, I already play, I'm already at a point where, I can cover service or I can play for a ministry. So I'm not a beginner, but I feel like I have hit a wall or a ceiling. Okay. Many times someone showing you things or someone introducing things to you may actually the next level. Okay. It's been times where I've been able to look at the way people the way they were doing things, and I said, wow, that's interesting. I don't think I would have thought of that, or I don't think I would have thought of playing that way. Oh, that's creative. And so when you work with somebody else, it helps you see a different approach, which is good. It helps you to see a different perspective, which is good. Okay, not that you can't play, but sometimes it's good to see a different approach. How would you approach? Um, I used online sessions for a while. Great, great. Okay, how? So the question would be, um, asking yourself, how would you approach this song, or how would you approach playing this particular thing? And sometimes you will be really amazed to find out how different of an approach someone else would take. And so that's an advantage of working with somebody. And it may be just a few things that maybe you didn't think about that will make all of the difference in the world in your playing. Just simple things, basic techniques, basic concepts that someone can introduce to you that maybe you didn't even quite think about. And because of that, it makes a huge difference. We have another question. I can read the piano music, but I cannot play without the music. Is it possible for me to play without the music? Well, Richard, I read music as well. And one thing that I try to do from time to time is I try to um, take the songs that we do and create MIDI files. Now, with a MIDI file, you can do several things. A MIDI file, you can get a MIDI file player, and that's just some software that you can download on your computer. I can actually send you a link where you can download a MIDI file player for free, where you don't have to pay anything, and I can supply you a MIDI file of any and every song that we do in the online sessions, and you can simply take that MIDI file, put it in the MIDI file player software on your laptop, desktop computer, whatever you have, and then what you will see is the notes lighting up. It's like a virtual screen, just like similar to on my instructional videos. On my instruction, the lights lighting up, the keys lighting up as I play. It'll be similar to that, where you'll see the keys lighting up. And but the benefit is you can slow it down if you wanted to. You could even speed it up. And not only that, let me see. I just wanted to thank you for playing. Okay, you can speed it up. You can change the key. Say, for example, the song is originally in the key of G major, but you want to change the key to A flat. You can change the settings on the software and change the key to whatever you want. So it's a good way to learn things in different keys. It's also a good way to slow things down and learn it at the speed that you want. But also, if you're a person that you're stronger at reading music than you are at playing by ear, then you can take that MIDI file and create the sheet music to it. Okay. And I'll go as far as saying this, Richard. I'm going to really be working closely with the people that are signed up. If you need me to, I will take the MIDI file and I can create the sheet music for you. Okay. And I will do that. Okay. Anybody that you read music and you want the sheet music, I'll take the MIDI files and create the sheet music for you, which is not difficult to do, and then I'll send it to you that way. Okay, I'll make that commitment to do that in this particular program. Okay, now let me say this: you don't have to know how to read music. If you don't know a treble clef from a Chinese, you don't have to, because that's not a requirement. Okay, what we're going to do is focus on the things that you need to start playing right away. If you have a goal to play for your church, you want to fill that void. That piano's just sitting right there and nobody's on it. And you said, man, I know I could do this. This is for you. Or if you're placing a person you already play and you say, I know I can play better. I know I can do better than this. Then this is for you too. It's time to level up. We're moving out of 2018 going into 2019. You ought to tell yourself, I'm going to another level in 2019. But guess what? It happens for the people that take action. Okay, you have to be a person that take action. Sometimes we're a little skeptical about things, a little doubtful. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know. That's normal, that's natural. But for the people that really break through to next levels are people that take action, and that's across the board with everything. And so you are worth the investment. What you do is worth the investment. It's a small investment. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. It's simply $40, and all of the that covers all of the 4 sessions. Okay, so $40 for the whole entire thing. So that is extremely reasonable, and you're going to get a 1 hour session for every week. So that's 4 hours of instruction where you can ask questions, where you can see exactly what's going on. You can hear everything that's going on. You can make comments. You also can, make suggestions. I'm even allowing you to make suggestions about some of the things you want me to cover. So this is going to be an interactive thing. It's going to be we're going to work together. I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to share with you the things that I've learned over the years of playing at small churches, playing at mega churches, and everything in between. Okay, we're going to get into praise and worship songs, current praise and worship songs, current choir songs, congregational songs. Okay, I noticed someone had a question about transposing. Okay, I don't beat anybody up on the head. Caesar, the classes start tomorrow. They start tomorrow. If you want to go ahead and sign up, people are signing up now. So if you want to go ahead and sign up, simply go to our website, which is hollinsmusic.com. Hollinsmusic.com. And on the home page, you simply click on the PayPal button. It's at the top of the home page, and then you would pay for it there. And then from PayPal, we get your information. We get your email address, your name, and that's really all we need. And once we get your name and email address, we will respond back to you when you pay today and give you the information that you would need to log on to view the online sessions and to be a part of it. So we're going to give you all of the information that you would need once you pay for it. Okay, so simply go to hollinsmusic.com. That's spelled Hollins. It's like Collins, except with an H. Hollins music.com. Hollinsmusic.com, and go to the home page. And that way you'll be able to click on that PayPal button, and you'll be able to get signed up real quick and easy. Okay. Now, I noticed somebody mentioned something about transpose. I don't beat people over the head about using transpose. Okay. Transpose, in my opinion, is something that should only be used for an extreme emergency. Okay. If you're playing for 500 people and someone gets up and starts singing a song in a key that you know the song, but you don't know it in that key, you better use that transpose. But the thing is, you don't want to be a person where you can only play unless you have transpose. Okay, and I can help you with that. Music is mathematical. Okay, and the thing about music is a one is always a one. It doesn't matter if you're in the key of C, the key of F, the key of B flat, the key of G, the key of A natural. A one is always a one. A four is always a four. A flat seven is always a flat seven. Music is mathematical. And when you begin to start thinking mathematically as opposed to notes, it's going to take a lot of the mystery out of playing in every key. As opposed to you have a 2-5-1 progression in the key of C, which is D minor 7, G dominant 7, C major, or C major 7. Okay. Now, if I wanted to transpose that up a half step to D flat, then I could think E flat minor 7, going to A flat dominant 7, and then moving to C sharp major 7. Now, I could do that, but that's a lot to think about. So, as opposed to thinking about notes, if you start to think about numbers, so in the key of C, we're going to go to the 2, then to the 5, then to the 1. And then when we go to D flat, we're going to go to the 2, then the 5, then the 1. If we wanted to go to the key of D, we're still going to go to the 2, to the 5, and then to the 1. So if you know your major scales, and I know the major scale in the key of C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. In the key of D flat, I know it's D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and D flat again. In the key of D, it's D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, B. I know my scales very well. And they're up here. They're up here. I don't even have to think about it. I know my scales very well, all 12. And what I do is I apply the number to the note of the scale. And so I'm focusing on numbers as opposed to notes. Okay. I hope that's not confusing anybody. But what I'm saying is, if you struggle with playing in every key, I can help you with that. Okay. Very easily, and show you some things that you can work on, things that you can practice on that's going to help you to overcome that problem of being able to play it in A flat, but can't play it in A. Being able to play it in C sharp, but can't play it in D. Somebody gets up and start playing in B natural and you get nervous. I can help you to overcome that thing. I'm at the place now where the key really doesn't even matter. Okay. And it's not because of, you're just a better musician. No, it's just an approach. It's the way you approach it. It's the way you look at it. It's the way you think about it. And that makes all of the difference in the world. And for those individuals or students that will work with me that are struggling with it, or you having problems with that, I will share that with you. I will share you my approach to playing a song, and if you want to play it in any key that you want to play it in. Okay, those are great questions. Are there any other questions? So we're definitely going to cover being able to transpose, being able to play what you know in any key that you want to be able to play it in. I actually have a booklet that I'm going to give to everybody that's a part of these sessions, and it's a booklet that I came up with of congregational songs. So I mean the type of songs like "Have You Tried Jesus? He's all right." Yeah, I'm a soul. Those type of songs like that. Okay, there's a storm out over the ocean. The standard congregational songs that every gospel musician needs to know. Okay, and I created a booklet with those songs in it, and I actually have the formula, what I call the formula for those particular songs. So what is it? It's the numbers of the chords for those particular congregational songs. And what does that do? It gives you the ability to play those songs in any key. In any key. Okay? I grew up in a setting where we would have testimony service. In the church that I grew up in, it was a small church, and they would do things spontaneously sometimes in terms of the music in the testimony service. Okay, and so what they would do is they would get up and they would sing a song, and then someone would get up and testify. They would talk about what God has done for them or blessed them or whatnot, and then else would get up and sing a song. But the thing is, as the musician, I would never know what anybody was going to sing. Not only I did not know what they were going to sing, they could get up and start singing in any key. So I had to know the standard songs, and not only know the standard songs, but be able to play them in any of the 12 keys. Whoa. Now that sounds intimidating for someone that does not think in terms of numbers. But what I learned was I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord has a pattern or a formula that you follow in terms of numbers. I'm a soul, that's on the one. One. We're going to move to the 4, 2, 5, 1. That's the formula. It's really simple. So it doesn't matter if you're in the key of A flat or if you're in the key of G. Okay? The G would be in the key of G, which is the 1, G, which is the 1, and then C, which is the 4, then A, D, G, which is the 2, 5, 1. Okay? We can do that same thing in E, same thing in F sharp, same thing in B flat. The key, once you start thinking like that, the key is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you know your basic chords, your major chords, your minor chords, your dominant 7, your suspended, your diminished, those basic chords like that, you'll be able to play so many different songs and in whatever key you want. And it goes way beyond congregational songs, praise and worship songs. Sometimes during praise and worship, you may have a praise and worship leader that may want to modulate, which means go to a higher key, to build intensity in the song. Okay. You may have a person that they may want to go higher because maybe the key of the original key or the first key that you're doing it in may be a little too low for them and they want to go up. Okay. So what do? Do you get nervous? Do you just refuse to do it? No, 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 no. You get to the place where the key will not matter to you. You won't even care. And when you start thinking in terms of numbers, and we're definitely going to cover this. I'm going to show you everything that I do as it relates to playing in all keys. One thing that I do now, and I noticed this when I'm working with singers, it's important that you put them in a key that's comfortable for their voice. You don't want it to be in a key that is too high for them or a key that's too low. So as the musician, as the piano player, as the keyboardist, you need to be able to play whatever the song is in a key that is the best for the singer, and not you're playing in the key because that's the only key you can play it in. And this is what I noticed. Most singers, they think that they are inconveniencing you by asking you to change the key. They'll say, well, can you bring it up just a little bit? Can you bring it down? As if you please, and I'm thinking, it doesn't matter to me. I can put it whatever key you want it in. And it's all the same. And when I say that, it really is. It's the same. And it's because the way I think about it. A 1 is a 1. We go to a 5, it's a 5 suspended 7, a 2 dominant 7, a A minor. It's all the same. And you just put it in whatever key you want. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in this particular program. Okay. Some of you all may have come on a little later. And what I'm talking about is on tomorrow, I am starting a series of online live teaching sessions, and it starts tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and it begins at 6:30 Central Standard Time, and we're going to do 4 lessons or 4 sessions in total, and the sessions are going to be a minimum of 1 hour in length apiece. Okay. And if you want to be a part of this, people are signing up now. People have already committed and have secured their spot. If you want to be a part of this, simply go to our website, which is hollinsmusic.com, which is spelled HOLLINS music.com, hollinsmusic.com, and simply go to the home page and click on the PayPal button. Once you click on the PayPal button and you pay for it, then we're going to get your name and your email address from the PayPal information. And then what we're going to do is send you the information that you need so that you can log on and be a part of the online session, which starts tomorrow, 6:30 Central Standard Time. It's going to be an online session, and you're going to be able to ask questions. You're going to be able to see everything. You're going to be able to hear everything. And I'm going to work one-on-one with you if I need to answer questions or to help you. Okay. Now, I do believe someone asked a question, if I'm blind, will this help me? And to answer your questions, I do believe so. And I say that because the way I teach, I spell out all of the notes. Okay. So even if you can't see everything that's going on, I spell all of the notes out. So I will spell out the note, the note names of the chords, left hand C and B flat. Right hand, you're going to play D natural, G, and C. And I do that for everything that I'm teaching. Okay. Now, and this is another benefit I believe of these sessions. For whatever reason, if you miss the live session, you can always go back and watch the replay. So the replays are going to be available immediately after the sessions, and you'll always be able to go back and replay them if you miss them. But also, if there was anything that we covered that you quite didn't get, or maybe you felt like you needed to go back over it again, you can look at the replays and take your time, and you can get it at your own speed. So you don't have to worry about not being able to keep up. Okay, so that's another a great part of this. You're going to be able to go back and watch all of the replays. Okay, and I'm going to leave them up. I'm going to leave them up so you'll be able to go back to them days from when it's over. Okay. Caesar, that was a nice chord. I think I spelled out a C dominant ninth chord. I believe that's what I spelled out. Are there any other questions? I don't know. Some of you, I may have some questions about my background musically. If anyone is wondering that, I'll be willing and more than happy to share that with you. Well, I'll just go ahead and share that just in case anyone is wondering. I have a background playing in church. I as I mentioned, just to give you just a little rundown of what I did musically, that I actually began playing in church at the age of about 5 or 6 years old. I started playing drums as a young boy in church, and from drums, I actually switched over to playing saxophone when I was about 12 years old. And 12, I started playing saxophone. At the age of 13, my church was in need of a musician. So I started playing at the age of 13 and immediately started taking lessons from Barbara Jackson. And I took lessons from her for about a year or two. And I started playing, in different services. Our denomination was the Kojic denomination, and our church was with what it was within what was called a district. Okay. And so they made me one of the main district musicians. So now I'm about 14, maybe 15 years old, and now I'm playing as a district musician for about 5 or 6 different churches that would come together and have meetings on a monthly basis. So I'm the main musician for that. And so that was the hot seat for me. But it was one of the best things I could have ever been a part in because it forced me to get better and to learn. And so I kept doing that. In high school, I joined the jazz band and I started learning different things about chords and different things about that. And then I decided to major in music. I went to the University of Memphis and I majored in music performance. I had a music scholarship, and I majored in music, and I studied music for my whole college experience, where I learned classical. I studied classical piano. I studied jazz piano. I studied contemporary jazz. I studied traditional jazz, meaning swing and bebop and stride and ragtime and fusion. I studied so many different things like Bach and Beethoven and Brahms, and I studied composition and orchestration and all of these different things. I even studied pedagogy in terms of teaching and education and educating people in music. I After college, I began teaching in the public school system, where I have taught band, I have taught choir. I have taught piano labs, meaning I've been a lab instructor for piano students. I've taught music theory. I've taught recording technology. And I have played from churches with a membership of 30 all the way up to a membership of about 6,000. Okay, I've been a minister of music. I've been musical directors. I've done so many different things. I've composed music for television. I've actually been a musical guest on TBN once, Trinity Broadcast Network. I was a musical guest on there once. I have done music for television, music for radio. I've produced albums. One of the last albums that I produced is the Berean Mass Choir live in Memphis. If you want to check that out, that's on Spotify. And I have produced a Christmas album. My wife and I, produced a Christmas album a few years ago called The Hollins Holiday, and I've mixed different recordings. So I have an extensive background in music. Okay. And when I teach, I pull from all of those experiences. I've been teaching for well over 20 years. HMPI is 18 years old. I did not even realize that until about a few days ago. And I looked at our starting date, and then I looked at the years 2018. I said, oh my goodness, HMPI is 18 years old. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I've learned some different things over the years. Okay. So just to let you know, that's a little bit of my background, where I come from, and what I'm going to be bringing as I teach, and I try to help you to excel and go to the next level in dimension in what you do. Okay. So again, if you want to sign up, simply go to our website, which is hollinsmusic.com. Hollinsmusic.com. That's spelled HOLLINS music.com. And you can click on the PayPal button, which is on the home page. We're going to get your information, and then we're going to get to you everything you would need to know, so that you can start the session. The first session starts tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. If you can't make that, if you're at work, if you're at school, then don't worry. The replays will be available immediately after that, so you will not miss anything. Okay. This is a wonderful opportunity. It's only $40. If you know anything about music lessons, you can barely get one lesson for $40. Okay, very good question. Very good question, Lewis. Okay, and these lessons are only $40. It's going to be $40, which is going to cover everything. It's going to cover all four sessions. You're going to get at least 1 hour. Many times I go over the hour, but you're going to get a minimum of 1 hour per session, and then you're going to be able to ask questions. I'm going to answer your questions. We're going to work interactively. I'm going to give you my information where you can contact me personally with questions. So for the those 4 weeks, we're going to work close together, and my goal is to really try to help you. One thing that really encourages me as a teacher is when I see people that I have worked with over the years, and they take it and they excel with it. I have students now that are phenomenal. Hear me when I tell you this. I have students where I was the very first teacher that they ever had, and they are amazing musicians. I'm talking about people, they play for a living, and that's all they do, and they do it well. People that play professionally. I have students that have been on television, because of their musical ability. I have students where they've gone and gotten musical degrees, and they teach for the school system, and I have some success stories, like, seriously. And so and that really encourages me to continue to do what I'm doing, because it's working. It's really helping people. And so I believe that I can help you if you give me the opportunity. You say, I don't know, I'm on the fence. I've been here for over 18 years. I ain't going nowhere. I guarantee you, if you sign up, I'm going to be right there. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to help you. And when these sessions are over with, you're going to be a better musician. You will be a better. Aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth? Yes, you are. Okay. Uh, okay. Caesar says he's going to sign up. Okay, Lewis. Let me ask you a question about the organ. I answered this. Actually, I answered this a little earlier, where if you are primarily an organist, but you still want to be a part of this, you can and you should, because the things that I'm going to teach will be, I believe, applicable to the organ as well. Simply, it's just a matter of adjusting how you approach it. And I'll talk about that. How do you transition over from piano to organ? It may be somebody else on here that you may say, well, I play the piano, but I don't fool with the organ, or I'm scared of the organ. I'm going to teach you how you can transition from the organ. That looks like that's a need. So we'll deal with it. How to transition from piano to organ. You may have an opportunity where you can fill a spot for organ, but you may not be comfortable with it. Okay. Or you may say, I already play the organ, but I want to benefit from what you're teaching. So I'll teach you how to apply what you play on piano over to the organ. And it's not difficult, just some basic principles with voicings, things you do differently with your left hand, if you're going to incorporate your foot pedal, drawbars. And I will take some time and deal with that to help anybody that has those questions, or have those concerns or challenges. Okay, are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? So the sessions, they start tomorrow. So go ahead and sign up. I guarantee you, those of you all that, if you're a part of this channel, you subscribe to this channel, and you see the videos that I post from time to time, the ones that I've posted from years back, I believe that these sessions are going to be so much better than those. Okay, you can use that to gauge, is this guy going to be a good teacher for me? Am I going to learn anything? Is this going to be relevant to what I do? Look at the videos and you make a determination. Okay. And I really do believe that if given the opportunity, I believe I can help you. I really do. And it'll be something that you will say at the end of it, I'm glad I did that, because of that, I really am better. And I really do have tools now to take my plan to a new dimension. Okay. Barbara was that person for me, and I'm offering to be that person for you, or at least one of those people for you. Okay. So go ahead and sign up. Go ahead and pull the trigger. I guarantee you're going to be glad you did. I'm looking forward to working with you. People are signing up right now. I would love to work with you on this. Again, go to Hollins Music, transition from classical to gospel. Oh, okay. Okay, great. Go to hollinsmusic.com, and you can sign up. Now, someone said I'm having trouble transitioning from classical to gospel. Actually, that really can be a very good thing, because in classical music you learn a lot about technique. You learn a lot about playing with correct fingering, and you learn a lot of things that are very helpful as it relates to being a very um, a very what was the word I'm looking for? Accomplished musician. Okay. And I play classical music myself. And what I can do is, if you are stronger in reading than you are playing by ear, the material that we cover, I will make a MIDI file of that and then create sheet music for you where you can learn the material that way. Okay, and we're going to talk about ear training too. Um, you may be a person that you mainly read music, or maybe hymn books, or you may have booklets or things that you read out of to learn songs. I'm going to teach you how to develop your ear. And the ear is like a muscle. Just like if you're lifting weights in the gym, at first it's only a certain amount of weight that you can lift, but as you continue to lift those weights, your muscles are going to get stronger, meaning you can lift heavier weights. Same thing with the ear. I'm going to show you how to develop your ear, where you may only be able to hear certain things, but as you keep developing your ear, you're going to be able to hear more and more fine little nuances that you couldn't hear before. And I have experienced that, where I've seen the growth in myself. And I'll share my experiences with that. I don't want to take too much time right now, but I'll share those experiences where I have grown with my ear. And I'll say this: when I first started to play by ear, it took me 2 weeks to figure out what key a song was in, much less learn how to play it. That's how bad it was for me. Now I can hear a song one time and I know how to play it. I don't have to sit at, I don't have to be at a piano. I don't have to be at a keyboard. I can be in my car driving, listening to a song. And if I'm going to where a piano is, I can sit down, having heard that song one time, and play it note for note. Now, is that because I'm so amazingly gifted? Absolutely not. I learned how to develop my ear. And guess what? I can teach you to do the same thing. Very confidently, I can say I can teach you to do the same thing because I did it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to cover ear training. So if you're a classical musician and you say, I'm having trouble transitioning over, I can help you with it. And the classical training that you have is only going to be an addition to what you do. Okay, you put the time and effort in. Okay, great. Are there any other questions or comments? I appreciate everybody commenting. Any other questions or comments before I sign off? Okay, go to hollinsmusic.com. Again, that's Hollins. It's like Collins, except with an H. Hollinsmusic.com, and go ahead and sign up. Click on that PayPal button. We're going to get your information, your email address, and your name, and we're going to send you the information that you need today so that you can log in. Okay? I'm telling you, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have fun. It's going to be great. Okay, I enjoy teaching, and if you want to learn some new things and you want to take your playing to the next level, you want to go into 2019 as a new musician, this is a great opportunity for you. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I enjoyed sharing these things with you, and don't hesitate, but go ahead and secure your spot now, and I guarantee you're going to be glad you did. All right, I'm going to talk to you soon, and hopefully I'm going to be working with you very soon. All right. You guys be blessed. Remember, HMPI, we're serving gospel musicians all over the world.